Now if I can just not forget everything.
You know, your brain that you use so little of, it's not a storage cabinet. So forgetting gives you the wrong impression. It's not that you have this stuff that you're remembering. It's that you are in the vibrational vicinity, so you're transmitting and receiving. In other words, the source within you never forgets who you are. The source within you never forgets what you want. And when you get in the vicinity of it, you become very clear-minded. Isn't that the way it works? Yes.
Helps weed out a lot of things. I just have to thank you for today, because I think today's seminar is just for me. Almost everybody who's been in the chair has addressed something that I had a question about.
It is co-creating at its best. Yes.
I spent the last 2 weeks trying to come up with a way to ask you a question that was
Unfortunately, we've used all your time.
It was very upstream. And I couldn't come up with a way, and when you started speaking this morning, I released it immediately. I said, you know what? Abraham's told me enough over the years. I don't need to ask that question. The second guy in the chair asked my question, and you answered it so fast. So the question I do have has to do with my inner being, because I'm learning that really is what I want now. I'm pretty good at manifesting things. I want to be more in touch with my inner being.
Well, if you're good at manifesting things, you must be in touch with your inner being.
So I want to be
because
more
one follows the
consciously
other.
in touch with it, or just an easy flow of information.
Feeling good on purpose. Feeling good on purpose is what deliberate creating is. Mm-hmm. But feeling good is feeling good. Absence of resistance is allowing, and it's a wonderful thing.
Good.
So why is this a pointed thing for you? Why do you want when you say I want to be in touch with my inner being, is that coming from the standpoint that I'm not and I want to be? Or is that coming from the standpoint that I am and I want to keep it going?
It's coming from the standpoint that I think I'm doing it, and I'm not. I must be doing it, but I don't feel that I'm sure.
Well, there are two ways to know. In other words, you can tell by the way you feel, and you can tell by what's manifesting. So if good things are manifesting, and they are, and you're feeling good, and you say you are, then you must be, for the most part, in alignment.
Okay.
So what makes you question it?
I have a specific issue I'd like to, not an issue, but just a question about some dreams I had. I try to shorten this up a little bit. Last year when I knew I was coming here, I started having a few dreams, very lucid dreams, where I was laying in bed and I could actually feel my legs rising off the bed, to the point where I thought I woke up and saw them that way. Okay, that was last year. It didn't happen again for a year. A few weeks ago, I had 2 dreams a few days in a row. One was very clear to me. I had 3 dreams. I had one dream. I woke up, I forget what it was about, but I knew definitely that I was telling myself I was creating what happened to me in the dream. I felt very good about that because it just applied to my life. Fell back asleep, dreamt a totally different dream, same thing. This happened 3 times in a row. I woke up from that, I felt pretty good. 2 or 3 days later, I had a frightening dream. It started out where I felt the legs moving up, but it didn't feel right. It didn't feel like I was in control of it. And it was almost like somebody turned me on my head. Then after that, I felt really a presence of someone grabbing me from behind, and it wasn't friendly. And this is not me at all. I don't worry about this kind of thing. I don't think about this kind of thing. But grabbing me from behind and would not let me go. And again, it was a lucid dream, and I thought I looked over to where my husband normally lays, and there was a woman there, and she reached out to grab my arm, and I could feel her arm. Then I felt very bound, but I did request, let me go. I don't want this to happen.
Well, let's start with the premise, with the law, with the fact, with the truth, and with something that you know, and we know you know it because you have spoken it already here, and that is that what you're thinking and what you're feeling and what's manifesting are always a vibrational match. In other words, you are creating your reality. And then we take it further. We said it here today already, that what's happening in your dream state, even let's make it more clear, what's manifesting in your dream state. Now, it's fair to call it a manifestation, isn't it? Because sometimes your dreams are so vivid, you said very lucid, so it is something that is as real as your reality in terms of, even though your eyes are closed, you're still seeing. Even though you are in a dream state, you are still interpreting through physical sense structure and that sort of thing. So what you're creating in your dream state is still your creation. So we think it is a nice thing that in your quest to understand how this all works, that you had a series of dreams. You had dreams where you felt your vibration raising. You actually felt a physical difference in your physical body, which is always the case. When your vibration raises, especially when you first feel it raising, there's always a difference. In the beginning, when Esther would stand at the podium to receive us, she would always swoon a little bit as the energies that she was focused within and the energies of Abraham would blend together. There was always a little feeling of disorientation in the beginning for Esther. But over time, as she acclimated more and more to the energy of Abraham, that feeling of orientation no longer was there. She's there while she still relaxes and sets forth her intentions to hear us clearly and to translate clearly. Still, her vibration is with us by the time she gets to the podium, so she does not experience that. So the first dream you had was you feeling the acclimation of your energy moving up. And then you had another dream where you were consciously aware. And we think it is a wonderful thing because in that dream, you received clear insight that said, you do create your dreams. You create your dreams. And we think it is so nice that you would have a dream that says you create your dream reality right before you create a dream reality that feels like someone else is asserting themselves into your experience. In other words, there's something going on. There's something going on in your vibration.
Which you answered when the other gentleman came in the chair, so we don't need to talk about it here.
Something going on in your vibration, which we're hard to head off. Something in your vibration that is present. In other words, and it's what we were talking about earlier. If you're very sensitive to emotion and you catch when it's off, and you know it's off, and you catch it early on and release the resistance, then it doesn't go further. But if you don't, it will get bigger. It always does, until there will be some sort of further demonstration of the discord. It's just the way that it is. There are a number of things that we like to say about the awareness of the discord. First of all, please remember and always understand that we don't see negative emotion as a bad thing. We see it as a clarifying thing. If you don't have the ability to focus, we've had quite a bit of conversation today about physical bodies and about brains and about consciousnesses and about scientists. And if you are not deliberately focusing, then you are focusing in response to whatever is going on around you that's dominant. In other words, if you don't set your own goals, you become part of other people's goals, so to speak. If you're not aware of the vibration that you're reaching for, and if you are not deliberately feeling your way or tuning your way to the vibration of your source energy and your vortex and all that you want, then there could be something in your environment that's loud enough, the drum is beating loud enough, that you are giving it your attention. In your attention to it, there is some resistance that then shows up in some other way. If we were standing in your physical shoes and we got a tickle in our throat or a sore throat or worse, if we had some physical demonstration of resistance, rather than beating up on ourselves for not having recognized it earlier, we would instead say, isn't it nice that eventually I become aware of my resistance? Whether it's through a sore throat, whether it's through the losing of a voice, whether it's through a bedridden illness, it doesn't matter what it is, sooner or later, now that I know what I know, can be aware of my resistance. And when I'm aware of my resistance, that's the most important step. And then every time you just make a determination to catch it in the earlier subtle stages. It's nice that you're dreaming it rather than living it, because the dream can come. A dream ridden with resistance can manifest much easier in your experience than real life, what you call materialization or manifestation. And that's a good thing. That means you can manifest more quickly in your dreams, both wanted and unwanted. So it gives you an opportunity to evaluate where you are. Yes?
Yes. Yes. Thank you so much.
Yes, indeed. We've been saying that if we were awakening from unpleasant dreams, that would give us an indication that we would want to be more aware of when we're feeling unpleasant emotions and catch them in the earlier subtle stages. If we were awakening from really pleasant dreams, we would say, nothing to change, just keep doing what I'm doing. Keep watching the same television programs, keep listening to the same conversations, keep hanging around with the same people. In other words, change nothing if your dreams are pleasing you. But when your dreams or manifestations are not pleasing you, then it's time to look for the more subtle evidence, and that is the emotion. Really good. Right here. Stand if you think it's you. You are the one. Wait. Yes.